Our orb weaver spider web is in tatters. I don't know where the spider is. Should have picked the south side of the house. Another challenging, windy morning with the temperature in the 30s here. 38 in North Weymouth. That was my iPhone microphone. Now you're hearing my Hollyland Lark Lavalier, 9:30 on November 13th with the waxing beaver moon. Are you ready, Rex? As always. Are you ready, Steve? As always. TK. No, I don't want to go out. It's too cold. It's too windy. It's very pretty, though. So much to talk about today. I'm probably going to forget half of what I was wanting to say. Look at the cat and dog overlapping right there underneath the burning bush, losing its leaves rapidly. The leaves are just flying around. Wind has been the big story for the last 24 hours. A lot of reports of people. Things are just blowing from yard to yard. Your neighbor's leaves are passing right through your yard on the way to someone else's yard. I think yesterday Darius and Eunice on Cape Cod really summed it up. He says it's a sandstorm on the national seashore yesterday afternoon. The wind was gusting past 40 miles per hour. What is wind? Air moving from high to low pressure. Very strong high going by to the north, low pressure way out over the ocean. Hey, look at those clouds. What's going on with those clouds? Those are called ocean effect clouds. They happen because the ocean is relatively warm compared to the air. And that warmer air rises, and obviously it's a moisture source, and that cools and condenses that vapor into a cloud, very commonly known as an ocean effect cloud. You probably know it even better from the Great Lakes, called a lake effect cloud. And Tom Neisel, meteorologist, I think he lives in Tennessee, but he's really fun on X, posted this imagery of old man Winter blowing across Lake Erie, creating a lake effect cloud there. And we're right on the edge of the cloud. Let me secure Steve on his anchor here so he doesn't take off on us. You're secured, Steve. And T-Rex, he's secured, and the birds are swirling around. The weather stick is pointed up today, which means really dry air and nice weather. The satellite image of New England this morning is really telling, and you can see the cloud streaks, brilliant formations there over the ocean with the wind coming from north to south and coming in a little bit from the east here in eastern Massachusetts. So here in eastern Massachusetts, that's the only cloud in town in the region. And you can also see the top of Mount Washington and Mount Katahdin, little white spots there, and also a Lake Champlain cloud, lake effect cloud blowing off to the west side of Lake Champlain. The temperature map this morning, when I looked, Boston was still at 34 degrees, Cape Cod in the 30s with a wind gusting past 30. The Highline ferry, fast ferry from Hyannis to Nantucket to Hyannis, has been canceled the last 36 hours due to too much wind. And so that is that strong high pressure system blowing in. But inland, you see those crosses with temperatures in the 20s and even 19 at Whitefield, New Hampshire this morning, where it was clear and calm last night. We radiated. Not record cold, but cold enough to keep the snow guns going at Killington, top to bottom on Superstar. And you can see over North Ridge also. This is from earlier in the day. And also on the Jet Trail. So snow guns. I think my favorite Jet Trail is at Jay Peak, by the way. And I think my favorite, though, is, out the door. We do out the door from Cape Cod. We do out the door from here in Weymouth. And we also do out the door from Stowe, Vermont. We have a place in that building there. And I love that the snow guns were going right down there, connecting the Over Easy to the Forerunner. So there is snow on the ground, top to bottom now, also at Mount Mansfield. So everyone's taking advantage of this window of snowmaking, which isn't going to last that much longer, maybe about another 12 hours, because warmer air is going to come in aloft. And even though the next 2 mornings we may go down to freezing, each morning it's going to be warmer on the mountain tops. And then each afternoon it'll be warmer down below. And it's just warm enough that the snow guns aren't going to go on, but we shouldn't see a major meltdown of the snow we've made this week. Time out. Let's look at this incoming tanker and the Mirage. See to the left of the Mirage, to the left of the tanker, the Mirage, where it looks like the sky has disconnected Cape Ann from the earth. That's because light waves bend, and they bend towards cold air. So you see this when you're driving down the road on a hot day. It looks like the sky is in the middle of the road. So that's a mirage. Lots of science here. And the wind has been so annoying. I'm trying to market this. What was that? I just heard a meow. Is everything okay down there, Steve? Are we all good? Yesterday, I'm starting to market this as a sleep aid. I fall asleep to my videos because the science is kind of confusing and it's hard to pay attention to. And then at the end, I show all those nice, slow scenes of nature, and I start talking more quietly. Well, yesterday I couldn't talk more quietly because it was so windy, but I'll try and put you to sleep at the end of this somehow. How about if we go down and look at this other thermometer and talk about the forecast for Boston, the 5-day forecast. Temperatures are only in the 40s. Oh, I forgot to mention Boston. Hey, Boston. Logan Airport right over there this morning, 32 degrees. So I was wrong. We had our first freeze in Boston today, and the wind is blowing. So it wasn't radiational cooling. That was just cold air advection. And now I'll go check this thermometer. So yeah, the first freeze is in the books in Boston, and this one matches up, says about 38 degrees. T-Rex so patient. I've been putting water out. I don't know where this foil came from. Things are just blowing around. I put water out for the critters because it's been so dry. So even though the critters eat my vegetables, figure if I'm going to feed them, I might as well give them something to drink. And so I put that out there. So no ice, I guess was my point there. And the flowers still look okay. So I don't think we got to 32 here because, like I said before, the water is warmer and the water acts as a heater. So I stay a little bit warmer with the wind coming off the Fore River. And there's another one for the other critters that come by. It's like a bird bath, but for things on the ground too. So these clouds are actually going to increase here in eastern Massachusetts, but lots of things going on in the weather department. National Hurricane Center says it's almost certain now that we're going to have tropical cyclone Sarah developing in the Caribbean, and it may try and thread the needle between the Yucatan and Cuba, and if it doesn't go into Central America, may emerge in the Gulf of Mexico as a potential Hurricane Sarah on the map within 3 or 4 days. And that's not good news because a lot of the guidance takes that into Florida. Here in the Northeast, we've been talking about this front that was supposed to come in tomorrow with a potential storm in the Great Lakes, and we've talked about how that's all changed, and now that's going to miss off to the south. So we've not been able to sort of connect the northern stream with the southern stream and phase, and that lack of phasing here is the result, the reason that we've fronts coming to dry here. Our next front should be a warm front, but this high pressure system, now it's a 1036, I believe, and getting stronger. High pressure system to our north, there it is on the surface analysis this morning, and so that's where our air is coming from. And when a high pressure system goes to your north, it does not warm up anywhere near as quickly as it was when it goes to your south because of the clockwise circulation. Cold air is heavy, and we get this thing in New England called cold air damming, when the cooler air with the wind from the east and the northeast kind of is dammed up on the east side of the Appalachians, and that actually works all the way down the coast. So that's going to be very interesting to watch this cold air damming situation over the next several days. Should we go to the euro? A little bit disheartened this morning. My heart dropped a little bit when I went to my normal pivotalweather.com. I pay a subscription here to use their weather models without any advertisements, and I share them with you, so I figure I should give them some money. I can't remember the meteorologist that built this wonderful website. And now I see that the Euro model, the ECMWF, which had been only going out 240 hours with its operational, limiting our error capacity to 240 hours, which is 10 days, now goes out 360 hours. So it's added another several days. What's that? It's another 120 hours, another 5 days. So now the euro goes out 15 days, and we've seen how badly it does after day 5. So now, along with the GFS, we have the euro, which is going to send out forecasts of 10 to 15 days where the odds are less, or can you be less than 50-50? The odds, yeah, they are less than 50-50. The odds are probably 40-60 that there's going to be any accuracy to the weather forecast after 10 days or even 5 days. Yesterday morning, the guidance pulled a massive shift and tried to send warm air north into eastern Canada and cold air south to the Gulf of Mexico. That was a huge shift with an anomalous cold pool over the southeastern United States that everyone posted on X. Well, that has reversed already. We've been talking about this ocean storm that's going to back. We can see it forming out there, the remnant of the Colorado, New Mexico storm, and that's still forecast to form, but it's not looking as impactful here in the Northeast. And a lot of it has to do with this new weather pattern where we have the Greenland block developing, a lot of storms coming off the Pacific, a lot of cold in Canada, and the interaction of all these three things is very difficult for the weather guidance to pick up on. But here we go. And I think I'm only going to go out 240 hours with the Euro for now. I mean, maybe at some point I'll show you all 360 hours, but that is so long and so really not helpful. You can grasp at straws, though, if you're looking for a snowstorm or something like that way out, and we may use that occasionally. But for now, I'm going to stick with 240 hours, and let's go. High pressure goes off to the north of New England. This storm that we've been watching for more than a week coming out of the Great Lakes is dodging south and looks like it's going off of North Carolina. So it sort of split the difference between Michigan several days ago and then Georgia a couple days ago. Now that goes off North Carolina, and we still have high pressure to our north with the northerly flow and not much backing into New England. That ocean storm has decided to keep its moisture out of here. Now that's not a lock. I think we're still going to have damp and windy weather continuing. It's going to get more cloudy over most of New England Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now here's where things really start going off the rails. You have a hurricane coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. You have another massive cold dump in the Rockies with a storm coming out of the Rockies. And let's pause it here next Wednesday. Oh my goodness. In New England, not much going on next Wednesday. We're still probably getting some cold air damming, but nowhere near as windy as it looked earlier. The big news here is a potential blizzard in the middle of the nation. What's that? Only about 1,001 millibar low. I can't remember exactly, near Nebraska. You have the 980-ish Hurricane Sarah, very close to Tampa. And I think the biggest thing on here really is the 1055 millibar high pressure system over the Rockies with all that cold air. That's the reason that even though that's a weak low, that could be a blizzard in the east front range of the Rockies and the central and northern plains. At the same time, there's a hurricane near Florida. Now the blizzard in November after the 15th, actually, yeah, that's after the 15th, is not that unusual. But the hurricane in Florida, perhaps after November 15th, as a perhaps a major hurricane, is very unusual. And this is so different than how it's been looking, so it's going to guarantee change again. But big ticket items on the map there. That's the middle of next week. Let's keep it going after that. Oh, wait, see all these birds coming around here? You can't see them, right, because they're so small. Out here, test the wind. The burning bush leaves are leaving. The birds are staying. T-Rex is barking because Mommy's making breakfast, and he knows it, but Timmy's out still doing his weather and more. Kind of stalling a little bit to see if I can get this tanker to go by. Actually, I'm not really stalling for that. It's just a lengthy discussion. Put the maps back into motion after next Wednesday. And the remnant of the hurricane threatens to perhaps run the East Coast or go out to sea completely and split the difference. It has it maybe with some mixed precipitation here in the Northeast next Thursday or Friday. That plains blizzard kind of lifts to the north, and all of a sudden we are back in colder air for most of the east and the Northeast, with the opportunity for the snow guns to come back on. This is a pretty much a tectonic shift from what the guidance had just 24 to 30 hours ago. You know that it's going to change again, but there are big ticket items on the weather map. 14 minutes in here. Yesterday, what'd we do? Well, I went for a ride through Quincy over the Four River Bridge where the car was shaking, connecting from Weymouth to Quincy, and then going by that new police station they're building in Quincy and seeing the workers up on the roof with those winds of 40 miles an hour. Are you guys secure up on the roof? And then came back and we had one of our board meetings, BORD LED at the OPYC. And because the wind was blocked by the fence and the sun was out, it wasn't too uncomfortable watching the sun sparkles and zephyrs on the water there at Turn Harbor. And then I went to Stop and Shop because I thought it would be a good time to make a soup. I wanted to get some chicken and some leeks. Guess what? Stop and Shop had no chicken and no leeks due to a systems issue. Apparently that systems issue was the main frame at the Stop and Shop HQ was hacked. So they couldn't do their normal resupply. Rex is totally tied around that thing, and I almost don't even really feel bad. You're just gonna sit there. I feel a little bit bad. Look at him, he's all wound up. No, Rex, stay. All right, I'll let you run up those stairs. Look at him, he's nuts. Oh my God, when he gets onto something, shoot. All right. Oh yes, the end more, where I try and help you sleep. Well, I couldn't find any quiet to help you sleep, so I'll try and just lower my volume of my walking down to watch the sunset. And oh, the workers up the street. That was also interesting. Our neighbor getting a new driveway and the wind and dust just blowing around up there. And then some pretty cold sunset scenes here. My fingers are freezing right now. Steve is so calm. Rex is barking because he wants to go in the door. And the ship is coming in slower. So this ship will probably be in tomorrow's out the door. Look at that, the water coming out the bow. I think that's releasing ballast. I don't know a lot, but escorted by 2 tugboats. Wind at its side. They keep on working. People just keep on working, and I keep on making videos. And here's the and more from yesterday. Thanks for watching. Appreciate all your comments. Sorry I didn't get to more of the comments today. I'll try and do more of that in a couple of days. All right, talk to you.
Sorry, I'm late. What are we looking at?
The wind on the water and the sunlight.
Wow.
Wow.
Janet calls those sun sparkles, and then you get the wind making it even more texturized.
You can see the wind.
You can see the wind. Yet here we are on this windy day, but in the sun, feels like it's almost 55 degrees.
Take a look at that in front of it. And you never know when it's going to hit.
Light waves off water waves with wind waves causing reflection and refraction. Meso eddies, meso timmies, meso duggies, meso jerrys.
Point of this.
What are those? That must be solar panels on top of a roof.
I'm in a heavy jacket.
Very low tide as we're approaching the full beaver moon in about 72 hours. They're moving, relocating into the sun. What is wind? Air moving from high to low. What happens when the wind hits the sparkling water? You get zephyrs. And another thing about the wind and the waves, look at it churning up the mud and the dirt. You can't really see in the colors. Can you hear me now? Of the water. Usually I say the water is a reflection of the color of the sky, but clearly there's a lot of sand and mud stirred up. What a windy day. Brisk cold air advection. How are you supposed to sleep to this? Well, we'll mellow it out before we get to the end. And we'll have a soothing piano time lapse, as always. Sun's already gone from my yard. Wow, scoured. I don't think that thing blew over there. I don't think, but I'm not sure. But everything's being scoured. Looks like we've got some new driveway going in up here. T-Rex, let's go check it out. Yep. Been working on this house forever. Sean Farrell. Flagpole's getting the stress test today. Always working on it. Flattening it out. Some drainage in there. Oh! Nice paving. I'm gonna pave it tonight. Nice paving. Pave it tonight. Rex, stop.
Don't go high.
So much for quiet, soothing sounds to end the video. And more. Not too sleepy today. Invigorating, as a matter of fact. It's freezing outside. See how the garden handles this in the morning. There's a lot of water in that compost pile. Help keep it a little bit warmer. Roses, are you all right? All right, this is the end of the end more from today. I'll try and lower the volume of the wind and up the volume of the piano. This is called Captain Space Time.